What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report, weekly news briefing. It is Monday, the 19th of October, 2015. Haven't done one of these in a few weeks. You know, I've done some little videos here and there, but for the most part, I've been kind of taking a break from the massive link dumping, if you will. But I'm going to try to get back at it. But before I can do that, I got to give you all these links that I've got stockpiled over the past few weeks. So let's get to it. As always, first link below, we take it to the Blogspot post. That's where you can find all this madness. Pilot dies during American Airlines flight. Okay, that from CNN on October 6th. What is with these pilots, though? The next one's going to be United Airlines flight. Diverts after co-pilot passes out. What? Speaking of airlines, more glitches. Southwest Airlines says ticket glitch fixed after days of pure hell. Day of pure hell. That's October 12th from NBC. Meanwhile, did you see customs computers reportedly working again at airports nationwide? The customs computers that screen for people on the red list, terror watch list, whatever, well, that system goes down. Along with all these other glitches that we've had, along with 2 pilots that have become incapacitated during flight. This is some scary stuff, what's going on with our airports. Other news going on, explosion causes massive fire at oil rig in Texas. That's 16 October from RT, not sure what's up with that. Meanwhile, rest in peace, 2 Kansas City firefighters die when building collapses on them. Firefighters are true hero first responders. Rest in peace. My thoughts to their families and the department. Speaking of heroes, we got French train attack hero stabbed in Sacramento, California. What are the odds? America, I think it's time we have a serious talk about what to do about all these knives that are stabbing people lately. Suspect dead, 10 hurt in hammer attack in British Columbia. This news out of Canada. I guess we need to ban hammers along with knives because they're attacking people. We got some Ebola news. Ebola nurse critically ill and deterioration that shocks experts. This from The Guardian. And speaking of Ebola, I hope none of these people who were recently cured of Ebola had sexual intercourse with anyone, because look at this. Ebola lingers in semen for 9 months. That from BBC News. That's some doomy, you talk about an STD. Over to financial news. How the Dow Jones fared on Friday. Looks like it rose 74 points. For the week last week, it was up 131. Looks like it's 17,215. You know, if that matters to anybody, it'll probably hit 18,000 and go back down to 15. I mean, whatever. WeAreChange puts this out. Trends forecaster predicts more economic troubles and war. More economic troubles and war. That's September 21. Some of these are kind of old. The stuff I've been bookmarking the past few weeks. Dollar General cuts 255 jobs. And restructuring plan in the dollar store is cutting jobs. Okay. 13 October on that from CNBC. Daily Mail puts this out. No need to get shirty. Look at this. Air France executive is forced to climb a fence after staff attack him and rip off his shirt when he announces 2,900 job losses. Right on, power to the people. Global news, I think this is out of Canada. Edmonton faces crime spike due to oil patch woes. Problems up in Canada, put a link to that. Meanwhile, look at this from Zero Hedge. Illinois to delay pension payments amid budget woes. For all this, Illinois to delay pension payments. Can you imagine if you told the IRS you owe them a bunch of money, right? But I don't have the money to pay you. I'm going to delay that. What would happen to you? That from Zero Hedge on 10/14. We got what recovery? 9.4 million more Americans below the poverty line than pre-crisis. That 9/27 from Zero Hedge as well. Meanwhile, Washington Times. Look at this. Our government's out of money, right? About to go over the debt ceiling again. Budget, all this. EPA's fondness of high-end furniture cost taxpayers $92 million. The EPA, as they messed up Colorado, spent $92 million on furniture. What do you think about that? Or did that money go to the dumbs? Well, how did it go on Independence Day? You don't think they spend $20,000 for a hammer, $50,000 for a toilet seat. Oregon pot sales sell more than $11 million in the first 5 days. It's good industry being up there. That from MSN News. One more in the financial bin. You know, might be poverty all over, but it's good for Apple. Apple sells 13 million iPhones in just 3 days. Over to New World Order Police State News. Now check this out. Have you seen this? Michigan teen's family files federal lawsuit over fatal traffic stop shooting. This kid was just trying to flash his high beams to let an oncoming car know that its high beams were on, or at least he perceived that their high beams were on. Turned out to be a cop who was driving a new police car with bright headlights. Pulled this kid over. The kid refused to be a good little slave and produce documentation. As he fails, he's done nothing wrong. It ends up with the kid dead. Cop tases the kid. He's on the ground, doesn't like being tased, fights back against tyranny, ends up dead. Please check out the video on CNN. Tell me your thoughts on that. Outrageous. Some 17-year-old kid done nothing wrong. Now he's dead. We got a bunch of other news here. Man jailed for unpaid traffic ticket suffers excruciating death in cell, says lawsuit. I think that's also out of Michigan. That was on October 1. We got Virginia caught on camera tasing a compliant man. That 3 weeks ago from Be the Media. Put a link to that. We got how do you say his name? Tamar Rice. I think it was a 12-year-old kid that was holding the fake BB gun. Cops pulled up and shot him. Well, apparently it's been ruled that was a reasonable shoot by 2 experts. Put a link to that by CNN. Tell me what you think. Iowa students sent home. The war on the Confederate flag continues. Iowa students sent home for not removing Confederate flag from truck. That's September 25. And look at this. Look at this. Confederate flag supporters indicted under Georgia terrorism law. If you support the Confederate flag, you are a terrorist. It's interesting how we're taking, whether you think it's racist or not is irrelevant. To classify people as terrorists, we're taking important parts of American history, and this, you're watching history be made here, folks. I'm just alarmed by this. I'm not even a supporter of the flag, but I understand what's happening. Meanwhile, the immigration and Muslim Islam thing is coming together. Look at this. Dayton says anyone who can't accept immigrants in Minnesota should find another state. In Minnesota, they are telling you to leave your own state if you don't like immigrants. What? I'll put a link to that. Local media. We got Mr. Conservative puts this out. Breaking illegal aliens given the right to vote in California, apparently. I'll put a link to that. Meanwhile, the Islamic agenda, New York City schools observing Muslim holiday for the first time. Tell me what you think about that. And Six Flags over Georgia has made a private park day to appreciate Islam. I'll put a link to it. Islam gets their own day at Six Flags. Over to World War III news. We got the Turkey mourns dozens of deadly blast victims. Live updates from RT. Put a link to that. Take note, all of you Boston strong people, what an actual explosion in a crowd really looks like. I don't believe that's fake. Please tell me your thoughts. We got missile attack on Yemen wedding kills 131. Nobody knows who shot that thing off. We got F-22 Raptors deployed to the Middle East from Hawaii. Put a link to that from UPI. We got U.S. airdrop in Syria ends up arming the Kurds. Well, that's no surprise, is it? October 15 from Bloomberg. China ready to use military force if U.S. violates its territorial waters. October 16. What? The Global Mail. This is out of Canada, I believe. Package bombs cause carnage in southern China. We continue to see things blowing up all over China. All these massive explosions. Now we got package bombs exploding all over the place. Something's obviously going on, in my opinion. That's actually from Canada media, but they're reporting on China, by the way. Russian embassy trolls Saudi Arabia on Twitter. You got to pull it up and check it out. Al News for Front, Islamic Front, Free Syrian Army, Mujahideen. It's kind of cut out and paste, your rocket launcher on the appropriate terrorist, whatever. Daily Mail puts this out. Russia has turned its T-90 tank into a robot and plans to hire gamers to fight future wars. Right on, remote control console. From Express, we got Christians ordered to convert or die. Convert or die. And ISIS jihadists, by ISIS jihadists, or the Durka, as they declare a European caliphate. Yeah, let's see you try to do that shit in America. We'll see how it works out. Yahoo Finance, one more. Canadian and U.S. generals discussed the possibility of fully integrating the two countries' militaries. New World Order much, or more specifically, the NAU-SPP. We've talked about this for years, have we not? Over to Earth changes in 2012 news. Now looks like we had a 4.4 out of Oklahoma on the 10th. The last one was on 9/26, 6.2 out of Chile. I'll put the name from USGS. Big quakes and a lot of small quakes on the radar. Small quakes. I guess we haven't really had too many significant quakes. I'll put a link to their data if you trust it. I'm starting not to. 16 dead, 600 missing in Guatemala landslide. That's October 3rd. Meanwhile, out in California, we got Southern California storm causes flash flooding and mudslides. You see these mudslides completely taking over highways out there. It's absolutely bizarre. I'll put a link from CBS News. Meanwhile, on the East Coast, we got historic rainfall pound South Carolina. It's a mess over there as well. That October 4. We got campers flee as huge sinkhole swallows tents. This is out of Queensland, I believe. Check out that sinkhole. Remind you of Bayou Corn much? What's going on with that one these days? Anyways, that's still swallowing stuff. Massive El Nino is now too big to fail, scientists say. Really, this is from the LA Times. Put a link to that. It's going to be a cold winter. California lake mysteriously runs dry overnight, killing thousands of fish. Big fish killed due to water be gone. Meanwhile, I got another one on that. Growing number believe California's drought is a government conspiracy. CBS Sacramento reporting that. Zero Hedge has this: Fukushima kids suffer thyroid cancer up to 50 times normal rate. New study finds. And the last one in the WeAreChange has been this thing going on here in St. Louis. I got people sending me messages all over the place. I am watching this situation. Catastrophic event could release radioactive fallout over U.S. metropolitan area, St. Louis. Although this is a very localized problem, I am keeping an eye on it. I'm much more concerned about the millions of gallons of radiation that are continuing to pour out of Fukushima, because that creates a much bigger problem for people around the planet. But I am watching this, and I do appreciate your messages on that thing. Over to where are we at now? Strange and bizarre news. Be advised, adult content coming up. Woman live streams herself driving while drunk, police say. Here's your sign. October 13, 2015. They got video. It is exactly what it sounds like. Man calls cops because he's too high. Found in a pile of Doritos. Well, has that never happened to anybody else? Put a link to that. Yahoo News has this: man drives into the ocean in bid to escape the police. How exactly did you think that was going to work out? Meanwhile, LiveLeak has this: crazy-ass woman doing donuts in the intersection, rams police car, flips her car down a hill. She must be on the flacca. We got Indian man beheads wife, walks down street with her head in his hand. I guess it's no big deal over there. That from RT. Meanwhile, speaking of that graphic here, warning: Florida man reaches inside woman and disembowels her for uttering ex's name during sex. Can you believe? It's from Raw Story. No comment. Toronto Sun puts this out. David Cameron allegedly put his private part into a dead pig's mouth. Book claims. I don't know. Put a link to that. Washington Post. The congressman who stole the Pope's water glass and drank from it. Yeah, apparently when the Pope was here, I never really did do a video on all that. Not really important anyway. Apparently a congressman thought it would be a blessing to take the Pope's water glass and drink it. I don't know. That's a weird fetish in my opinion. $6 million in cocaine found in boxes of pumpkins and squash. This out of Philadelphia. The Show Me Baby was not involved, I assure you. Speaking of that, drug bundle falls through an Arizona family's home. What? For all of the news, please check out my favorite videos. I have been favoriting tons of videos. Since I haven't been making a lot of videos, I have been favoriting a lot of videos. Thank you to everybody putting out content, keeping everybody informed about what's going on in the world. Definitely pull it up, see if there's any titles to the videos, stuff you don't know about over there. Got some shout-outs. Shout-out to my friend Frank L. on LiveLeak. I didn't forget about you, man. It's just been a while since I did a report. I have made my home here on YouTube. However, I also have a little community going over on LiveLeak, and I appreciate you guys. Even though a lot of the comments I get are saying, get your tinfoil hat, it amazes me that people can downplay the situation in the world. But shout-out to my friend Frank L. over on LiveLeak. Good stuff. I'll put a link to his channel. Shout-out to Charlie Mcgrath, also known as Krabby Dog Tricks. He's back. Charlie, it's good to see you, man. Living in Delusion did a great video, about 20 minutes long. Put a link to that. Shout out to WeAreChange. Luke gets in Debbie Wasserman's face once again. Whatever, however you say her name. We'll just call her Debbie. What's her name? You know, chick with the curly hair. Oh, I love the way Luke does his thing when he's confronting these politicians. Shout out to JSnip4. He did a video, and I don't know if I ever mentioned this, about Fed Chair Yellen suffers massive nervous breakdown. Check out his video. Did you see the Fed chief this was a few weeks back? His video was on the 24th, but she apparently had a meltdown at the microphone. You know, couldn't continue her speech. Weird. Shout out to Boogie2988. I subscribe to Boogie for completely different reasons other than the news and conspiracy stuff. It's nice to watch some different content every now and then. Well, we find Boogie298 reporting on the future is terrifying. A holographic Walmart employee. Check that out. Yeah. Put a link to that. Big shout out to Boogie. And shout out to the baby wheel. Did you see this video? These guys apparently a sunfish was following their boat. They didn't know what it was. They thought it was a baby whale. You just got to pull it up and check it out. Awesome video. Make sure you read the captions. That's all I got for this week, guys. If you like the report, please give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. I think it sucked. It's the worst of YouTube. You never want to see again. Please rate, though. It does help move around. I appreciate it. You can also follow me. Since I'm not putting out a lot of videos lately, follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus for live show alerts, breaking news alerts, new upload alerts, always posted there when they're up. I am tweeting and sending a lot of stuff out on Facebook. You know, since I'm not making a lot of videos, definitely follow me over there to keep up with me. That's all I got. I'm out of breath, man. It's been a few weeks since I did one of these. I'll try to get back on a normal schedule. Of course, I said that before. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring. But, you know, it's good to see you guys again. And, you know, tell me your thoughts on the madness in the world. What's going to come? You know, we're getting into the end of October. Asteroid on the way for Earth on the 31st of October. I'll make a separate video on that. You guys take care. Stay safe always. I will see you on the next one.